Hey everybody, and welcome to Internet Roundup, your home on the web for recipe exchanges and horse trading. We meet all your horse trading needs.
Yep.
That's Josh, and I'm Chuck. We do the Stuff You Should Know podcast, and this is really, what do you call it?
Our clubhouse on the web.
Our clubhouse on the web.
Yeah.
Where we point out new and exciting things that you may have not seen on social media.
Yes. Specifically, this is like our UK tribute.
I guess so.
Yeah.
As it turned out.
Which includes what countries?
We'll just skip right over that.
So maybe we'll even edit it out.
Let's just say this is about England in general.
Okay. Sorry, the rest of the UK. But we've got two articles that are out of the UK based on studies out of the UK or England.
Yeah.
And one of them is that the elderly, the aged over there, love to party.
Yeah, and I bet it's about the same over here. It's just a guess. But yeah, they found out some pretty striking things about senior citizens in England. Over the past 5 years, young people entering alcohol rehab has dropped by 25%.
Great.
But females, and I say female in the context of a study,
Right.
women,
Yes.
65% increase, and old folks, high-risk drinkers was most common among 55 to 64-year-old men.
Yeah, so as like the younger generation, they're getting a little more teetotally.
Sure.
The older generation are going into rehab.
Yeah, and they make some good points in here. I mean, when you first read this, you're like, what's going on with these people?
Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense. They never stopped drinking,
Right.
probably.
Yeah, so like there's an age demographic that's sitting there, and like the heavy drinkers are aging into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they say retirement can bring about boredom, essentially.
Sure. What else are you going to do but
Drink.
get drunk every day?
Yeah, I guess that's what's going on.
You know? Maybe take up bocce too, but you could do that drunk. If everyone
sure.
you're playing is also drunk.
That's right. But it's not just alcohol. They found that cannabis use rose tenfold among 50 to 64-year-olds between 1993 and 2007. And it also points out these are not necessarily new users. It's people that just never quit smoking weed.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Willie Nelsons.
I'm sure you're right about it being the same here in the U.S. because London and San Francisco are both swinging at the same time, you know?
Sure.
It's that whole baby boomer generation. They're all crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
What else are they doing?
They're... I don't think you can do that, dude.
Sure we do. I learned that when I was like 7.
Okay. You just totally got me with that. They are doing what you just did.
That's right.
They are making babies.
Well, they're not making babies. They're trying.
Yeah, so apparently STDs among elderly demographics are rising as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Genital herpes in people over 65 has increased by 50% in the last 5 years.
Yeah. So that means it's being passed from one person to another.
And, you know, it's not in this, but I remember hearing a few years back that HIV/AIDS was increasing tremendously among elderly populations.
Oh, wow.
Because they just were not using any kind of protection.
Yeah,
And
they weren't
nursing
from
homes
the
are
AIDS
like
generation at all.
crazy sex palaces, apparently.
Well, and I'm sure male enhancement drugs have really helped this along.
Yes, they
course.
have. Yes.
You know?
So the use of Viagra and the non-use of protection has led to a rise in STDs, including deadly ones.
Yeah, and while you might think, hey, just have a good time and drink and smoke your pot and have some sex, when you're older, your body is not as capable as handling these things. Your older liver can't, is a lot more sensitive to alcohol, your older lungs. If you get dizzy and fall down and break a hip, I mean...
Yeah, that's a big deal.
You're not a kid anymore.
No.
So it's definitely an issue. And they say that STDs take a toll on your aging immune system. So do what you want, old folks, but you're at risk.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, who cares?
Once you get into retirement, you know, whatever you want to do is fine, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
That's true.
I'm not going to wag my finger at the old folks who are having a good time.
No, and they're not driving. I mean, they're in an old folks home all day.
Right.
I'd probably be doing the same thing.
They're riding in ambulances from place to place.
And
that was ageist, and I apologize for that.
Here is our other story from the UK. Apparently, they've done some research about people getting burgled in their home And a lot of these people are getting burgled because they leave the key under the mat.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, apparently. In the UK, I believe in in England, because it says a third of Britons,
Yeah.
29% leave a spare key on their property, hidden somewhere on their property.
Yeah, and 6,000 burglaries. That led to 6,000 burglaries last year. And these were all from people who use keys. These were not breaking and entering burglaries.
Yeah, because there's a decline in burglaries overall, but there's a rise in burglaries of hidden keys.
That's right. And because it's England, we'll read the most common places they hide their keys. 19% under a plant pot. 13% under a bin.
That's a trash can.
13% under a stone. 10% under an old doormat or a gnome. A garden gnome.
Gnomes are huge in Britain.
Oh, yeah. That's the first place I would look for a key.
You see a gnome,
Under the
you're
garden
like,
gnome?
there's a key under there.
Or there's something under there.
Yeah, there's money that they owe the newspaper boy or whatever.
Yeah, there's a treat under every gnome.
So a spokesperson for LV Equals, which is a home insurance group, says don't do that.
So they're trying to get people to curb this so they don't have to pay out money in burglaries.
Right. Well, yeah, and apparently also it's not just leaving something hidden outside, which is understandable. You're worried about like being able to get in.
Sure.
A better way to do it is to befriend your neighbors and leave a key with them. You know,
It's not a bad idea.
you could also just never lose your keys.
Yeah.
And what else could you do?
Well, they recommend you not even put the key. Like if you look through a little window and see the key hanging there, they can just break out that little window.
That's another one too.
So I don't know. The little hide-a-key, the little fake rocks never look real to me.
No.
You know, it's always the one weird rock.
Yeah.
So that's a dead giveaway as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we have an extra key hidden or anything. I think
No.
we just rely on cell phones and proximity.
I always keep a spare key tucked in my cheek. I have one in there right now.
Do you really?
Can't even tell.
You don't have to even cough it up.
No, I don't know if it'll move. My skin is kind of grown over it. It's not pleasant.
That is now a teratoma, my friend.
I guess that's it.
That is it. So take care of your keys. Take care of your health in your old age. England, we salute you. God save the Queen and all that.